And the exhaust flanges have to be preset. Have to put them in there first before you even put the exhaust on, at least with these ones. They won't seat. I got to compress them, squeeze them in there, and that's why I had a leak. I just tightened it up, and the bevel on the exhaust here just pushed it right off. So they have to be preset. The stock ones just put it in there, and they would tighten right up. Maybe they had a bigger flange in here. I don't know. Anyways, that's something I just caught. I tried to time this yesterday, I think last night, and I knew the timing didn't sound right. I couldn't. It was jumping all over from advanced to top dead center, back and forth. The light was bouncing all over. I couldn't adjust it here. It was all over the place. I took the pickup off, and it looks like it's pretty worn on the back and damaged a bit, so I think it's broken. And it's an old Ultima ignition system. I tried looking up on the internet. I can't even find anybody with one, or anything on Google or YouTube or anything about the old ones, because you got to dial it in with a screwdriver. The rear cylinder and front cylinder. It's really awkward. So I ordered a new ignition system, the same as the FLH, and that'll probably be in next week in the States, but I can't get across that bridge, so this might be sitting for a little while. But I'm pretty sure that's a lot of the problem with this thing hard starting. And that one I can dial right in with this single shot ignition coil, so it'll be a little better. That's coming in. So I put these shields on this exhaust here. These are off the stock mufflers. I had to cut this one down because this one had the elbow for the corner here, so I just cut the end off because it's got the little notch out for the shift for the foot peg here, and that'll protect my foot or heel from hitting the pipe and burning my boots or anything on there. Same with this one. This will stop burning my thigh, but that looks pretty good. It looks pretty good like that. And just waiting for lots of parts. The brake lines, I got an email from them today. They shipped it, so hopefully it'll be here on Monday. I should have those, and then I'll try to bleed and pump up that front system. If I can't, then I'm gonna have to replace that master cylinder, and I'm just gonna buy a whole new unit for, like, I think it's 105 bucks, 110 bucks. But that unit might be shot, so we'll see. And so the next thing is I got to get this FLH back together. I'm kind of leaving this off so I can fire it up and test with my test light if I got power or signal going to that tachometer. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be that green wire. So I got to pull the tank off that, and I'm just going to hook the pink wire directly to the coil, and then tuck over that the green wire coming from the Ultima ignition module. And I think why they've got that green wire on there going right to the tachometer, and you can't put that green wire to the ignition coil or you'll burn up the module. So I think what that green wire does, it distinguishes between a single fire ignition and a dual fire ignition. Otherwise, the speedometer would be reading at twice the revolutions on a dual fire ignition system. Or is it vice versa? I don't know. I tried hooking that pink wire directly from the tack to the coil. Don't do that. It didn't work. It shorts the coil out. You get no spark. So that didn't work. I'm just going to run it without the tachometer running. It's got to be in the tack itself, because I've checked for power, ground, everything up here. Everything tests all right. So I think it's just in the tack itself. Might be no good. Burnt up. Okay, back to the video. But I'm just going to wire it back up the way it was. Now I got a feeling that tack's going to work perfectly fine. I'll just tape over the green wire, and that'll take care of that. I can button all this up, and I put 2 new spark plugs in. One of them did look pretty fouled, and this might be done. If anything, I might have to dial in the carb a little bit, because that carb was all in pieces when I got it, and there's only one mixture screw on it, the air screw. So that's my job for tomorrow, is to get that back together. But I got to pull the tank off, to do that. So I'm going to have that bike all apart again, the seat off, the tank off, just to fix that one wire going to the tack. Okay, so that's where I'm at today, and Monday we'll finish up with the brakes back on that one. Bench is half clean. Got the Fxrs back on the hoist, and last night I flushed out the rear master cylinder and fluids, and sure enough, it was .3 in there. This cavity here was empty. The reservoir was empty, but it still pumped up because there was enough in the lines for the brakes. So I flushed it right out. How I could tell it's .3 is because it was yellow. It was a gold color, and .5 and 6 is purple. So I just poured it, the .5 and 6 in here, kept flushing it and flushing it and flushing it until all the yellow was bled out. I got a little plastic hose here, and you can see it as it's coming out, and then it starts to turn to purple. Gets a little brackish first and then turns purple. So that's all flushed out, ready to go. And yeah, I got these 2 rubber grommets coming in here for the side cover. I'm missing one, but you got to buy them 2 at a time. So I get them coming in. They're in the States, can't get across there. But today I'm gonna pull the primary all off, change the slipper, chain tensioner, and I want to have a look at the linkages here a little bit. It's just doesn't seem quite right. This is an aftermarket linkage, and to me it's a little bit too big. It's oversized, and it kind of rubs on here a little bit. I'm gonna see what I can do about that. I don't know. It'd be nice to find an original one, but I see guys asking $70, $100, $130 for that little linkage. There was one on there a month ago for 29 bucks. I probably should have bought it. Maybe I can make one, I don't know. Yeah, so that's the last of it. To get this primary all checked out, I'm gonna check the clutch out, the chain, the slipper, and change the oil. And then I'm just waiting for the ignition module to come in. I think I am gonna flip this horn around and put it in front over here. It's gonna block a little bit of air, cooling that front cylinder, but you know, look at the back cylinder. It's got the whole front cylinder blocking the air for that. Yeah, maybe if I lower it down a little bit and just put it down here, it won't be too bad. Most of the heat's generated at the top of the engine, not down here. Okay, I'm gonna start pulling this apart. Okay, I'm gonna check this clutch adjustment here. Where's my tools? I think I just had them. I just had it right here. This is a older style. I'm not even sure if this is the original clutch with this bike, because I thought the original ones had 3 bolts. This has got 4 bolts on the diaphragm spring here, and this outer plate is how you adjust the tension. So with this sitting here, put a straight edge across the diaphragm spring. It's supposed to only be hitting the inner part of it. Right now this diaphragm spring is curved out over top of this. It should be in, and there should be 10 thou clearance. So I'm like, it looks like 20 thou the other way. So I got to take this off and see if I can get some adjustment in it. If not, then I got to measure the clutch plates. Lower this down, maybe it's easier to see. Like right now, this plate's dished out over this. The adjuster. It should be the other way. Thinking I should, well, I got free play in the bar, so. So right now it's compressing that spring too much, so I got to find a hole that's not as deep as that one. Yeah, let me put a mark. Okay, I'm in the A. There's A, B, and C positions on here. A, B, and C. So I'm in the A. In the A position. I'm going to jump right over to the C from one extreme to the other. That's C right there. Oh, this one here, that one there. So move everyone to the right one. Two, should be right there. Just make sure that diaphragm is located in there. better, but not good enough. Not good enough. All right, so now I take it apart and measure the clutch plates. Yeah, because if the clutch plates are too thin, then this is going to pull in farther and dish the diaphragm out. Newer clutch plates is going to push this out farther, and then the diaphragm is going to be the other way. So I'm expecting, might need a clutch. So I was in A, yeah, C is the highest. There's A, C, B. A, C, B. So if I did that one, that's going to go in farther. Yeah, no. No, no, no. Nope. Okay, so I can't get it to within adjustment with those 3 positions on there, and it does say here the 3 positions, C being the least amount of compression is what I need. I need that diaphragm spring's been pulled up too far. A is the mid, and B is the greatest compression. So it was in the middle, and C didn't help it at all, very little. So now I'm going to measure the friction plates, and I got a little micrometer here, and it says the friction plates should not be less than 78 thou, and I'm getting on here 74, 75 thou. Shouldn't be less than 78, so they're done. And for the steel plates, 44 thou. So how I do it, each line's 25. There's 50 there, so 25 plus 25 plus 24 is 49. Not supposed to be less than 44. I don't know, it doesn't tell you what the standard one is. Maybe if I just measure the tooth part, it'll be the standard size. Same. Well, I'll see how much it is to replace these 2 at the same time. I knew there wasn't something right with that clutch. I knew it. Just pulling it and trying to adjust it. Didn't feel right. Okay, so I gotta order some friction plates. Maybe steel plates too. I'm gonna check the adjustment on the chain now. The free play is between 5/8 and 7/8 of an inch on this model, 85 and 86. And I'm right about 5. Seems like there's a lot of play there, but I'm right about 5/8. Yeah, about 5. And you rotate this over and you find the tightest spot in the chain, and that's where you check it. You want it 5/8 minimum at the tightest spot. But I'm not going to rotate this over now. I'm going to be taking this all apart, and I'm going to order a new clutch. And yeah, let me count. Whoops, release that thing. Let me count how many plates are here. Steel and fiber. And that's the built-in one there. Yeah. And this is where you can check too for any grooves or slots in your clutch housing in here, because that'll hold up the clutches if there's any sort of grooves or slotting in there. These actually look pretty good. A little polished, a few spots, but no, it looks pretty good. Same with the outer in here. At least that's good. You can check the push rod for mushrooming on the ends. This is the little push rod. I need a magnet to pull that out right now. Anyways, I'm going to order a clutch. And I'll put the new slipper on too. Got a new one right here. Do that before I adjust the chain. Nope. It's got a bit of grooves worn in it there. Not, you know, it's still usable. They usually crack and break. Good for an emergency spare. It's getting pretty deformed though from the heat and the oil. Put a new one in. Probably gonna have to loosen this off to get that in there. I'm trying to cheat. All right, let's get a socket on there. the clutch sprocket here looks really good. This thing's still on? Yeah, it is. The clutch, the teeth on the clutch sprocket look really good. Nice square, nice and square, kind of like the starter ones here. These ones look really pointy and sharp. Now I haven't seen one in a long time to really compare. And I don't think there's one on that engine over there. Oh, I'm gonna go look that up too. Just seeing if this is a stock chain on here. I think somebody's changed this clutch. Yeah, that's a stock chain, Harley Davidson. Pretty sure that's what that's saying right there, made in USA. I gotta go down and check that out. I look in the manual here, and it says I should have 7 steel discs and friction plates. I should have 6. I've got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I got 7 steel discs. And I look on eBay and Amazon, and I'm looking for replacement clutch fiber plates. Every kit says 6 and 7. They say 6 friction and 7 steel. Every one. Now I worked on these bikes in the 80s up until 1988, I think. Yeah, 88. And I remember there was something about this. I remember either the first models that came out with seven plates, 7 and 7. There's something in my mind telling me that there was 7, but they changed it to 6. Everything's 6. But what I don't get is, how can you squeeze 7 in there? Because they're saying the new clutch plates are the same thicknesses and specs. I'm pretty sure in other videos I can see them going to 6, but they'd have to be all a little bit thicker. It'd be different specs. I don't know, I'm gonna try to Google it and see what I can find out here. I tried Googling it and didn't really see anything about there being 7 of these, but I'm starting to remember this now. That when we used to order these kits and put them in, we always had to order 1 extra fiber plate, and it came in a separate package. I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to order one of these kits, and I'm going to order 1 extra one. So I'm sure there's 7. Well, there's 7 in here, and it fit perfect. So, but I couldn't find anything on the internet. Everybody's talking about 6 and 7, and so maybe they reused one of their old fiber ones, and maybe the newer baskets are a little bit smaller, so you only need 6 and 7. I don't know, but I do remember now that we haven't, because I changed a bunch of these before, and I think we always ordered 1 extra fiber plate. So that's what I'm gonna do. And with this virus here, coronavirus out, I don't know, it might be another month before I get parts. So I'm waiting for the ignition module. I'm going to be waiting for a clutch. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, there's the measurements for this belt with the 10 pounds. I was saying 1/4 inch to 5/16, and some of them are saying 5/16 to 3/8. Well, I've got this at, it's about 5/16, so it's going to be good. And I'm going to go back to stock coil on this. I've been reading up all kinds of stuff on the single fire and the dual fire coils, and nobody seems to really notice much difference. Maybe a little bit smoother at idle, and no difference in horsepower. And I'm going to go back to the stock one because I got a brand new one, stock one here somewhere. Put it there, I don't know, but I'm going to put it in over here. Right there. Yeah, I'm going to put that stock coil in there too. Okay. That's it for today. I finally found one on eBay, and pretty reasonably priced, $61.66. The JP Cycles one, and the Barnett clutches are anywhere from $91 to $110, and they only give you 6 plates. And this one here, where does it say? I just saw it. 7 plates. So all those other ones you got to order an extra plate, and they're usually 20 bucks a plate for an individual one. So 21, 22 bucks for one plate. So this guy here, he sends you all 7. I'm gonna try that. I just ordered it. I don't know when it says. It'll be in April 9th to 13th, but the border is probably going to be closed for longer than that. Okay, that's all I can do for this video. I think I'm going to wrap this video up, and that's it. You can see on the Harley compensating sprockets, they got a little square tip at the end of them, like this is a brand new one, and mine come right to a shiny point, so it's worn. And let's see if there's another one here. There's a used one there. That's kind of how mine looks. See how pointy that is? Pretty worn. Counts 35 bucks for that when you can buy a new one for 44. I'm gonna go out there and get a picture of mine. You can see there, look how pointy those ones are. So that's worn. I'm going to use it though. I'm going to use it for now, because if you replace this sprocket, then you should replace the chain. And I'm not going to pull that chain off and replace it now. The back one, you can see the clutch sprocket. Where are we here? If you get in there. Camera, where's the camera? Yeah, right in there, okay. You can see they got nice square teeth. They're not polished and shiny like these ones. Just makes me think this is a newer clutch and clutch basket on there. Even the starter gear, look at the starter gear, looks like new. So I got a feeling that clutch basket's been replaced at one time. But you got to think that, I think there's 21 teeth on that front sprocket, and I don't know how many on the back there, 60, 55, 50 something, 45, I don't know. But that front sprocket's going around 2 or 3 times as fast as the rear sprocket, so it wears out a lot quicker, but that's pretty worn. It's not going to slip or nothing on me, but I'm going to have to keep an eye out for a chain and a compensating sprocket. I'm not going to do that right now. It's going to run fine like this. I'm not going to beat it. And I'll just keep an eye out for next fall to put those in there. Okay, that's going to be it for this video today. It's going to be a good looking bike though when it's done. So I paid $37 for that bike, and I got a free engine with it. And that free engine came with the lifters, S&S lifters, and push rods and blocks, and S&S cam. No, this has got the Andrews cam, the EV27 cam, and a lot of extra goodies on there. I put this exhaust system on it. That cost me $400, not cheap. And so I've got 37. I'll have $4,700 into this bike. But that's the front end all rebuilt, all new wheel bearings I'll have in it, the steering, the oil changed, the bushings changed, the seals changed, triple tree bearings changed, new brake lines, they're coming in hopefully tomorrow, new tires. Yeah, $48, $4,900, maybe in that range, I think. I don't know. Just to give you an idea what I got into it anyways. But it should be a good, reliable bike. Top end gasket kits all redone. The whole top end's all done. New valve seals included too. And all new gaskets. Okay.